This should be season 4, episode 4.
Season 4, episode 4.
Season 4?
Episode 4.
Look at us go.
Look at us.
Season 4?
4
really?
seasons.
How have we done 4 seasons of stuff?
don't know.
What is your definition of a podcast season?
I have no clue. It just makes zero sense to me.
Okay, what is your what to you is like a length of episodes that denotes a season?
For us?
Yeah. Well, for us. Well, our rules are different, obviously.
No, Joe Rogan's podcast.
I mean, I don't, like I
Is
said,
that 200 a season?
I don't really listen to other podcasts other than like Cumtown. And even then, I don't follow their full episodes.
It's still such the worst podcast to only listen to. I don't really listen to any podcasts besides Cumtown.
1,000%.
Not even the name. Like, it's like if you've heard it, you know that's the worst podcast to only be the podcast you listen to.
Is there another podcast I listen to, Joseph?
I don't know, because every time I'm like, hey, I think you would like this podcast, you're like, no, I'm going to listen to Cumtown. I've suggested Doughboys. I've suggested Last Podcast on the Left. I've suggested Dungeons and Daddies.
I didn't like Last Podcast.
Bill Burr's podcast is
Bill
really
Burr's
fun.
I do love
podcast.
Bill Burr's podcast.
Yeah.
But Last Podcast
Dollop
on the
is
Left,
really good.
like there's some guy, like some pig killer guy. Like,
Robert Picton?
Yeah, Pigton. I listened to, I think it's a 3. There's a,
You can't forget Pigton. It's right there.
it's a, I
he
think
was
it's,
destined to do
it's
what
a
he did.
3-parter. And I
thought it
listened
was
to
a
it.
butcher, and you... Never mind. Just I love your brain sometimes. Go ahead.
I didn't enjoy it very much. There are certain parts I really enjoyed, but like on the whole, overall, it was a pass.
On the whole, preparation H feels good. Cheers, boys.
Cheers to on the whole.
Damn.
Preparation H.
I could add what's it called? Funny notes. That's really about it. Or
Funny
like
notes?
funny sound effects.
You want to throw some fart noises in there?
I like that sound.
You want to do the Morning Zoo Crew thing?
What's that?
You know, like radio DJs when they're all like, you're on with Frank and the Sausage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me
that
some of
kind of
those.
stuff,
You're on with Frank and the Sausage.
Sausage, what you
Hang
doing
on,
so
yeah,
crazy?
Give me the ox real quick.
Oh wait, I really think we will immediately regret this.
It is now 7:35 on a Wednesday afternoon, and we're coming right after you for Frankie and the Sausage.
That's right. This is Frankie and
We're
the
here to
Sausage.
give you the top shit in the morning.
Oh my god! I hate how easily Grant just gave him the aux cord. Like you did,
She
he asked for it, you
Did she
didn't
not
even
hear?
hesitate.
As
You
I'm
just,
handing it
like-
to you, I'm like, oh fuck, I just made a huge mistake.
It's the same thing when you're driving with him, and he's like, "Give me the aux," and you're like,
Honestly, like I love the poop jokes, and you just keep them coming, and coming and coming.
just like me after a supersonic breakfast.
Ah,
burrito.
dude, no, I'll just drop $35 at Taco Bell and just be inconsolable for the rest of the day.
How
You know
much
what
fucking food you get for $35?
That's a lot
at
of Taco Bell, yeah.
That's a lot of
Yeah, that's a
goddamn.
lot.
You feeding a family of 8 or something?
I might be going
You
through.
got a secret basement family?
I might be going through some things.
I'm working through my emotions through Taco Bell right now.
In all seriousness, I think I might be too, because I bought and ate a gas station sausage, egg, and cheese croissant without even thinking about it.
It's,
It just happened,
oof.
and I was like eating the last bite. I was like, "What the fuck did I just do?"
Although sometimes
Like a zombie eating brains.
Sometimes though, those gas station like little breakfast sandwiches
Dude,
slap.
I
They do.
love
And
a
they're
gas station
so
breakfast.
They do.
Like,
It's just
Yeah,
now
a
that
gas
I'm
station chicken biscuit can change your fucking
Reminds
life.
me
now
so
that I'm
much
an
of
old man, though.
the other day. I stopped at a gas station. I was having kind of a bad day, and I was like, I'm gonna get myself a present, and I. Kind of like Grant, accidentally ended up eating an entire shareable size bag of peanut butter M&Ms, drank a 32-ounce Monster, and literally panic attacked my whole drive
Nice.
to work.
Nice.
It's just like,
Right.
just like, this is like being gacked out, man. I don't even know if I can feel my face.
Forget which gas station it is, but they have those little like taquitos, and they've got the different flavors. The buffalo
On
chicken
the rollers.
taquito. Dude, those
Food gets
things.
better the longer it rolls. I don't make the rules.
I absolutely love that
called
TikTok's like, who the hell is eating like, and the guy's like,
Who's buying this?
Yeah, who's buying these gas station hot dogs? And it cuts to like a fat bald guy. It's like, that'd be my big fat ass. Them things are delicious.
I've seen that, and I love it. Yeah.
That's the guy with the weird, long, stringy beard, right? Yeah, cringy. Love him though.
You guys want to get this guy going?
Let's
Oh, is
get
this
it
not
going.
our opener? Are we not starting
Hang on.
right?
I
Are
think
we
we
not
should
in
keep it.
This
Hang
feels
on,
okay.
One second. I don't think we should keep it. I wanted to give you the clip of the guy jacking off.
Oh yeah.
So we're not doing my thing. That's okay.
No, I want
No,
to
it's
do your
okay. We
thing.
just totally steamrolled over my thing. It's
No,
fine.
I
We
want
can-
to do your
No, we
thing.
can watch the clip of the guy
I
jerking
don't
off.
want.
That's fine. No, it's fine.
I just want to share it.
That's totally cool.
all. Where is it?
No, we can listen to the. We
No,
can watch
I
the
would
guy
love-
jerk off,
I
Jamie.
would love to watch this guy jerk off.
No, there's a video of it.
Give it to me. Just Come on, smaller the better. I want it.
Right? Is he jerking his gherkin?
Yeah,
or
is when he's jerking, are you seeing his like shadow jerk? Is it that big, or is it like is he just like?
There's no
furiously,
video.
Like,
is he jerking his gherkin or is he taking his tack?
That's a science question.
For science purposes, I need you to answer the question.
I thought that was a great line.
Did
I'm
I-
That's
sorry.
fine. No, that's great. I love it.
I can't remember if I told you that horrific picture that you sent me because that bot was like trying to hit on me.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Oh,
It
dude.
shut it down immediately.
You're welcome.
It was
Really?
amazing.
Just,
it was
You're
amazing.
welcome.
Yeah.
just straight up short circuited. It was just cannot
Too
function.
goddamn weird.
I was not ready to be sentient.
And also, I think it's nice to let the two new people of Trashville know where we're at.
That's right, people. We got
Right.
2 new people in the Trashville crew.
Yeah, it
And
just
it's
sounds
going
shitty for
great.
everyone involved. And then in downtown Chicago, reportedly an old man is walking around his apartment naked every day and touching himself while looking at the women in the building across from him. But the police
Oh,
are
this
saying
guy.
that is his right and that he's not breaking the law. In places like Chicago and New York, it's not uncommon for residents to be able to see their high-rise neighbors. And so most just put up curtains to avoid the awkward eye contact. But these women in Chicago's Streeterville neighborhood say this man across the street is naked in his own apartment 24/7 and that for 10 to 15 minutes a day, he touches himself in front of the window. With one woman even keeping a log of every time the man has been naked with at least 70 such instances in only 10 months. With the women even
Just
putting
keeping a
up
log?
signs in their windows asking him to stop, and he didn't, so they called the police several times now. And the police report saying the old man actually just waves to them when they see him, and once he actually held up a sign saying, come over. But ultimately, the police saying they can't do anything because he's in the privacy of his own home. And so instead, one of the ladies took matters into her own hands and confronted the old man in the lobby of his apartment, with him then agreeing to stop, but then not long after he went back to flashing Chicago. So the women saying this feels like sexual harassment, but when WGN confronted the old man, he just said, put up some curtains. But with that said, what are your thoughts here?
You didn't say he was an old man when you talked about this. That kind of changes things. Not a lot, but it definitely makes it different.
It's
You know what?
Okay, what he's
Go-
doing
Whoever
is-
wants to jump on the grenade first and say, he's a hero.
No.
Pieces of shit.
Not a hero, but God bless America.
I love the fact that the way he worded it, the
You're
police
going
said
Batman with
that
it.
is his right.
It's
Yeah.
not the hero that Chicago
Leave it
needs.
to the
but
fucking
it's the
cops to be like, "Ugh."
That's his.
Not really
right.
much we can do. He's not really hurting anybody.
Listen, I rate people on traffic stops all the time. I'm not going to stop this guy from jerking off at this bitch.
If I was a cop, I would not word it as this is his right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh, I would.
When you-
If I was that cop, well, man, it is a man's right to masturbate in his own home. Maybe you put up some fucking curtains.
Here's the thing: the fact that he's doing it at them is different than it. He's clearly not jerking off.
Is
in
he
his
doing
home.
it at them?
He's standing at the window and staring at them
Okay,
and waving
fine.
at them.
Yeah.
Now,
What
if
he's-
I'm jerking off in my house, as we already discussed, I walk around my house naked all the time. My cat Barney likes to sit at this little warm sunspot, so I seem to keep the curtains
it's not
open
his child.
over there.
It's a
Yeah,
cat.
No,
It's
it's
his
a cat. It's a,
Right.
he
Not
is
a
my
human.
well, he is my
Can
child.
confirm.
He's my little prince, but that's beside the point. He likes to sit in his warm, sunny
Prince of
spot.
Death, that one.
He'll fuck you up, dog.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a dog, because he's a cat. Meow. Anyway, moving on. He likes to sit in his sunny spot. So thank you, Grant. I walk around naked. You know, if I'm
Yeah.
jacking it and someone looks in, I stand by my thing that if you look into my house, you see what you see. That's my thing. But this guy is also doing it at them. Should they just buy some curtains and move on with their lives? Yes, because when you live in the city, as we all know, it sucks and you're a little rat in a cage getting poked at constantly, and you have to either get the fuck out of there or find some way to, retain your sanity. They should probably just get some curtains and move on. But is he what he's doing right? My take is no.
Oh, I'm not saying it's right.
But it is his right.
Right, it is
what
his
you said.
right.
I will also add. I
You got to
think
fight for your right to party.
the woman who's
The
like
worst
keeping a
Beastie Boys
log.
song.
That sounded very Karen-y to me. Or she's into it.
The woman with the log.
Oh,
I
with
think
the log.
you're
Keeping the log is
you're stoking the fire.
That's a little
Yeah.
obsessive.
because
Yeah,
he
that's a little
wants the
rear
attention,
window.
Right.
You know.
Well, clearly he wants the attention.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
then you're
that's-
giving him the attention. You'd be better off.
You ever heard of somebody like, ugh, I'm jotting this down again? He's like,
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Yeah, the guy's like, I'm sorry, which time? Oh, and for how long? Nice.
I'm up 2 minutes.
Oh, you're talking about August 3rd. That was a really
That
good
was a
day.
good-
That was a
yeah,
good
Oh,
day.
yeah. I accidentally
Right.
got a Victoria's Secret catalog delivered to me by mistake. That was a great day.
Right. Actually, the 29th of September, floor 3, row 2, you were on a different day.
Yeah. No, I was jerking off to your neighbor.
Lady, I wouldn't even paid attention to you. That day.
Right. Shut up, Friday.
You are second Friday of every month, and you know it. You don't get upset because I'm not looking at you.
Don't be mad because I'm masturbating to Saturday and her big old ginormous titties. You're a Friday evening gal, and that's okay.
I hope this guy keeps a diary. I would really like to read it someday.
It's a very dirty, stuck together diary.
Dear diary, the girl with the gagungas got mad at me today.
Okay.
And I loved it.
Quick thought experiment. Let's say you live.
Really don't want to do Joseph's thing. That's fine.
No, it's okay. It's
Well, no,
okay.
we can't do just thing.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. We'll keep putting it off until Grant makes the hand signal that like lets us know that we've been doing this for too long, and then we'll do it. And then we can, and then it's fine. We can move into
We
the
haven't
bulk
started
of it.
the episode. We haven't started the episode.
Then what are we doing? The whole point was efficiency.
I think this is the intro here, right?
How are we not doing the intro right now?
Okay.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Jamie, and then straight to Joseph.
No, let's
What the fuck?
let's just
have we been
let's just
doing?
cut this. This is Patreon material. Let's.
You can't
Oh,
dump everything
I'm
into
sorry, yeah.
Patreon
Now
material.
it's Patreon
You're gonna
material.
edit 5 minutes of us jerking each other off for Patreon? Come on, man. This is the intro. Let's start the goddamn episode.
No. What are you,
No, give us what thought experiment.
Yeah, what's your thought experiment?
Thought experiment for the intro. Go.
Thought experiment, Joseph and Grant. Let's say you live.
Oh, you want me to talk now?
I was just dicking around. I'm sorry. I thought we didn't start the episode.
Continue to dick around. Let's do this. I want to hear your thought experiment about this old man jerking his gnarled
Okay.
wooden stub.
Let's say you live in the apartment with all the women.
Oh, I'm not facing it. I'm in the apartment.
No, like you're facing him.
Oh. Is he jerking off to me?
No,
I'm gonna
he's-
let you finish. Go ahead.
So you live with your current wives. He's jerking it to your wife. Let's say Grace or Sarah they're not naked. I think, if my significant other would complain about it to me, I would just I'll get naked and just fuck with them.
That's a good one. Like we were saying earlier when you brought this up, I do like the sort of reciprocity idea of he's jerking it, some lady put a fucking sign up, that's not going to do anything for this guy. So my initial thought is a BB gun. You know what I mean?
BB gun is good.
Yeah. Absolutely non-lethal, but it will hurt a naked penis.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know this BB ball, little pellet versus
Right.
penis.
Yeah.
BB pellet wins every
BB
time.
pellet.
That's my thought initially, but I do like the idea of fucking with him though, because
Yeah.
where him jerking at his apartment is probably not illegal, but me shooting him probably is.
But I also think you should be allowed to retaliate
I think so too.
I agree.
within an extent.
I wish that justice worked this way, where you could just go to like your local judge or whatever. Be like, this is going to go out to you. I've got a masturbation log lady. You go up to your city councilor and be like, hey, this has been going on for this time. I've documented this. I'm going to start retaliating, and I would like your permission. And
I want to take you a step further, and it's an actual can of whoop ass, and they give you a can of whoop ass.
Oh, and
I
it's like
really
a
want
limited
that.
time to you can only open it one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you get issued a can of whoop ass, you pop it open, you dispense some whoop ass, and
Right.
then you're like, all right, we're even now.
We're done.
Right.
But come back. I'm gonna go back to City Hall. We're gonna get another can of whoop ass.
Sure.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
We're running out of whoop ass cans.
Just beating this naked old man in the street. Just American history Xing this motherfucker.
Golly. God bless America.
I would
surprised
probably just
no-
paint over his window.
See, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? Like just go over there, splash some paint on there, and be
That's
like, "Have
actually
your
a great
fucking fun
idea.
now, old man. You fucking
Right.
old bitch
Yes,
with your knobby ass knees."
That's actually, yeah. But would that be destruction of property? That's where he can get you.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Guess.
But I mean, unless you do it in like the middle of the night when you know he's sleeping, yeah, you just fucking paint over that shit, you know?
He's made a lot of enemies.
They're not going to pin it on
Right.
like apartment 4B. They're
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, well, everyone was getting jerked off at by this dude. So, like,
Right.
you know, like who could have done it? Anybody. Any of the fucking hot bitches in the other building.
Right. I knew it was you, Tuesday.
Still
You
think
broke my heart.
the character of the old man calling these women the days
The
that
day-
he jerks off to them is really troubling for me because it really makes me feel like I'm like, this guy keeps records, this guy keeps tabs, and you know who does that? Fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
You know what fucking weirdos do? They snap and kill someone one day.
I'm just,
Yeah. Oh, you kept a log. That's cute.
I'm just surprised no
Here's
one
my
asked
log.
him.
Just unfolds onto the floor.
And also he has like an actual log.
Right,
like
right,
he's
right.
like, I'm 2 for 2.
Why did no one ask him on camera? Was like, do you just not have Wi-Fi? Like,
Yeah, what's the porn sitch at your house?
Yeah.
I feel like porn just gets
Guess he
boring
likes
after
real
a
life.
while.
I don't know.
He probably also likes the whole
Yeah.
aspect of I'm doing this at you. You don't want me to do it.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's a whole thing.
This guy's barely
of
like a step up
voyeurism
from like a
slash-
park flasher.
/ exhibitionism. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably part of the.
Which,
batch.
listen, having sex outside or in places where you're not supposed to have sex, pretty awesome.
Pretty fun.
It's pretty fun.
But you can't involve other people in your kink unconsensually, non-consensually, whatever. You can't be at a park. You know what I mean? Because there might be kids around, and then you're just fucking put on a list or something.
you could
and
be at a national park though.
You can be at a national park, dude. National parks are for fucking. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
what
for
tourism
sure.
bureaus
They're
you're reading
crawling
into.
with people,
Right.
though.
Yeah, dude. You
Yeah.
gotta time it kind of right.
State parks.
Yeah, Long Hunter's cool.
I like
There's
the
a way to-
designations you're making.
There's a
over here.
way to do it.
And you
Municipal
don't just
park.
have to have like a
No.
big car.
Right. Playgrounds off limits.
Of course. Yes, of course.
Unless
Playground's
it's like
way off limits.
unless it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Listeners, don't get caught up in this. If you're in a park, if you're in an area where there could conceivably be children, it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m., they will fucking bust your ass. And if they don't like you, they will get you on the sex offenders registry list. Again, this is not from personal experience. I have a friend who that kind of thing happens.
Is that right?
It was like literally the middle of the night. And they were like, well, this is a place that kids come to. So there could have been a kid here. So they like got his ass.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, got your ass.
Yeah.
Damn.
And now he has to have his neighbors sign a thing that says he's cool to live there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Never mind.
Oh, God.
No more playgrounds, everybody.
Classic thing that cops and higher up people can always do. They just call you a child pedophile or like a pedophile or something or a child molester, and boom, they got your ass.
Yeah.
Even if there's nothing to stick to, they're like, nah, who's going to defend a pedophile?
Damn.
Damn, dude.
Well, welcome to Murder Schmurder. everyone.
Yay! Can we do Joseph's thing? I really want to do Joseph's thing.
I just was going to say that I've been going through a really hard time lately, and that's because my wife, Sarah, got her contraception medal
Taken out?
thing taken out the other day. She's got the pills and everything, and that's cool. But guess who has to wait a month before he can cream pie anybody?
Oh no.
This sad guy right here.
Oh no.
That's. I thought this was real.
This is real. This is real. This is not a joke. I have to wait a month.
Just pull out.
I was
going to
say, Joseph, and all respect to your wife, there are other holes.
That's true.
Well,
true.
that's true.
Right.
But a month.
I mean, I love Sarah to death, but I'm sure you guys can. You are
we
probably.
can figure it out.
You're one of the most creative people I know. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Why is my burden lesser? Are you guys belittling my
I'm not
my
belittling.
thing
I am
right
trying
now?
to make it better. I want you to know that you'll be okay.
To spend a month with the specter of children hanging over me like
Right.
goddamn Jacob Marley from
Now-
fucking Christmas Carol.
You're talking to a guy that is the king of no cream pies, okay?
That's true.
Grace is allergic to latex, and she also doesn't believe in birth control as far as messing with her hormones.
It does
and
mess
stuff
with
like that.
hormones.
It does
with
mess with
hormones.
hormones. So I am the pull-out king, my friend.
You found
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie hates me for this. Because
I do not have the science. We're like that.
That's not what I was referencing.
We promised to never release that episode.
No, as soon as you get the itch, you get the tickle, and you're like, all right, it's your turn.
See, I used to be a pull-out king like you guys, and then like I got soft because like Sarah got the thing in her arm, and I was good for years. Years. I didn't have to worry about
I
it.
could see me getting really used to that, though. to
I
be
did.
fair. Yeah.
Right? Force of habit almost.
Fucking modern medicine got me.
Well,
Well, that sucks.
Anyway,
But
I just
you'll be
wanted my friends to feel bad for me for a second.
I do.
I do feel bad for you.
Thank you.
Don't get
That's
me
all
wrong.
I wanted.
There
I
is something.
just wanted a
you're-
little bit of sympathy.
Your
Not to say
setup,
that
I
I've-
was like, and then you started talking about Sarah. I was like, oh
Right.
no,
Not
she's
to
not
say
gonna
that
have
I've
kids.
never had a cream pie, and
Joseph
I
doesn't
do
want
apologize
kids.
to my.
And then I was like, maybe something's wrong with her dog. I don't know.
You were. I'm glad that you know that as a key feature of me is
Right.
that you're like Joseph does not want to have children.
Mama Austin, you've
She has
probably
the same
learned a
name.
whole other side about your son listening to this podcast, and I
Oh,
do
yeah.
appreciate your support. But there is something about a goddamn cream pie.
Dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude.
Staying in there and just
In it, it's awesome.
Sure.
it's different.
I
It's
just- I'm
the
loving
worst thing.
that
The worst
you-
thing. It's better.
It is
It's
better. Because your biological little like imperative is tickling the back
And
of your
there's-
ball sack, just
there's-
like leave it in.
There's
Have a
pr-
kid.
There's a primalness. There's a connection. You'll never forget a woman. Never mind. We're gonna finish it. You'll never forget somebody that you've cream pie did. I'm not.
I disagree.
I don't know about that.
And thanks for listening, moms.
Shout out to the moms. Hey, if it weren't for the cream pies, you wouldn't be moms.
Right. It's true. Love you, mom.
Should we get like a get well card for Sarah?
Oh my
I mean,
god.
Signed for murder
Right,
schmurder.
right.
Sorry about the cream pies.
Did we get clearance for this, by the way?
Oh, was that probably would have been a good idea. She'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
If not, I'll let you know. I'll text you later
There you
tonight.
go, right.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we talked about how we can't have cream pies
Hey,
anymore.
send it to Steven.
There's going to be some good editing on this podcast.
My life motto is
Nobody gets
when in
that.
doubt, double down. You want to hate me? Oh, I'm going to make you fucking hate me.
I mean, she's not happy either.
Sarah is not, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, I believe you have an episode.
I have an
Austin
episode.
has a whole thing that he researched.
I sure did.
He put work into this.
I read. I did it. Before we do this, let's take this here shot of Fernie.
I'm going to take a sip off my claw because I'm
Yeah.
a little bitch.
I know, I get
Oh,
it.
thanks, Jamie.
Clinkety.
All right.
clinkety.
Austin, I am so excited because I feel like I haven't had an episode presented by you in a while.
Or at least not a solo.
was
The
gonna
last
say,
one I did was
no,
with James.
That's
Project
right.
Fist was one of my favorites still.
Yeah.
That Operation Fist is probably
a
one of
great
our
episode.
best ones, actually.
I loved Operation
That's a good
Fist.
one.
The,
I liked my Lincoln one, though, to be fair.
That was a
Again, I
good
just want
Lincoln
you
one
guys-
is
the
really-
Lincoln one's great.
Hey.
Anyways, so we today are talking about Arthur Shawcross, the
Shawcross.
Oh,
Genesee River Killer.
yeah. I like this
So,
guy.
the what river killer?
The Genesee.
Genesee.
That's Genesee River Killer.
I feel like that was specifically named to confuse Tennesseans, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's literally Tennessee, but
With the G.
and one less in.
Also sounds like
Okay.
a
Yeah.
cocktail I would make when I'm out
That
of
sounds
all
like-
the other booze.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
it
God.
does kind of
A
sound like a
little
cocktail.
bit of gin, a lot of Hennessy. That burns horrible. Let's have two more.
Right.
I'm having a bad day.
Oh, gin and Hennessy.
That sounds like hell. Anyway, speaking of hell, so Shawcross was born in Kittery, Maine, to Arthur Roy Shawcross, and Elizabeth Bessie Urquhart Shawcross in 1945.
There's your mom
Bessie.
right there.
Bessie, right?
Mama named
What
Bessie.
what a fucking name, right? He was the first of 4 children. As a child, Arthur was always considered to be a loner. Of course, if you grew up in the environment that he did, I'm sure you'd find yourself equally as unforthcoming. His father was never around, and his relationship with his mother was not the best, to say the least. She was domineering, controlling, and would always criticize Arthur. He didn't get much support from the rest of his family either, as they were known to join in mocking him, calling him Artie Oddball, or Audie for short. Be that as it may, he did not help his case much. He was certainly not normal. He was said to frequently talk like a baby and would frequently spoil his bed sheets.
Wait, talk like a baby? At
At
what age are we talking
yeah,
about?
What age are we talking
As early as age 7.
So he was 7 doing baby talk. That's kind of weird.
Mommy, I need your titty.
Right. And
No wonder his family laughed at
Mommy, I
him. And
pee-peed in my bed again.
7's too old for
Jesus
that.
Christ, this is the 14th time this week. He's going for 2 for days, you know?
2 days, yeah.
2 a days.
2 a day.
Later in his life would claim that he was sexually abused by his aunt and mother, apparently receiving oral sex with him as early as age 7. And that
I'm going to call bullshit.
we'll get to that in a second. He also had sexual relations with his sister. All of them said that it
dude.
never happened. In fact, when questioned about these allegations, he didn't even get his aunt's name right. Everything that we'll get into,
His aunt,
his aunt,
the woman
on.
he is
that
related
he
to.
that apparently
How
sexually-
many ants does he have?
it's apparently a very small family.
Okay.
So I think like just like if he
That's what I was
has
hoping for. He's got like maybe 2 ants.
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean this guy was born in Kittery, Maine.
Yeah,
Like,
not
they're-
exactly a
yeah.
metropolis.
Very small town. All of a
I'm
sudden
sorry,
it never
can
happened.
I interrupt real
yes,
quick?
go ahead.
Is this guy a wet noodle brain like Chikatilo, where he's got that little knob of water up in his gourd?
No, unfortunately not.
Sounds like he's just a fucking weirdo.
Just a weirdo.
And
He's just a
pathological liar,
weirdo.
so
Who
fuck.
apparently who was apparently way ahead of the stepmom.
If
game.
I was to be any sort of a betting kind of man, I would say it was a combination of the lack of fatherhood and that his mother was just completely
Mean as shit.
blowing him,
blowing him all the time. In fact,
blowing him all the time, and mean as shit.
right, mean, like always criticizing him and his fucking 7-year-old
Dick's too
penis.
small.
Right.
Austin's presenting. I have to lower the bar.
I know. Oh, right. And
That's right.
by the way,
I got you. I
my
got
new favorite thing, just to provide context for everyone, came up in our little pre-episode meeting, the concept of the low bar jar.
The low bar jar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
And-
got to get
and
that going.
For me personally, if it's funny enough, I will not demand money be added to the low bar jar.
Okay, that's fair. Okay,
Right.
okay. I like
However,
that.
that instance, low bar jar for sure.
Damn it.
What's the cost of the low bar jar?
Yeah, let's go ahead and establish that.
I think we should give it a money amount. So we'll say like
a dollar?
a quarter at the least, and then $5 at the most. What do you think?
If it's really fucked up, $5.
okay.
If it's just kind of like that was poor taste, 25 cents.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? In this
I
economy,
say $1.
I would say $1.
Okay,
a dollar,
$5.
but $5 is just like
Yeah.
Sleepy Joe's hitting me. You guys are hitting me. I can't catch a break in this economy, man. Fuck.
Yeah, perfect. At the end of the year, all the proceeds goes to Jules, our editor.
Insert other editor's name here if you are the different editor.
If you're the current editor of the
you are-
podcast.
How about
we
we
appreciate you.
We'll just decide it later.
Yeah,
It's probably a good idea.
we'll just give it to charity. How about that?
I like that idea. Let's
Yeah.
give it to a nonprofit.
Right.
Charity.
Fuck it. We'll give it to the first homeless man we see in downtown Nashville.
The first one?
The
Shouldn't we
first
have
one.
the homeless person contest
about-
like America's
the
Next Top
craziest
Homeless?
looking one.
The craziest looking one. Hey, here's $1,000. So we said that the mother never blew him, right? She says, and
But this guy's also
right.
a weirdo liar.
Also a weirdo, but for the sake of this truly fucked up story, I'm just gonna say there was at least one pee touch, at least
Okay.
one, because this guy's fucked up.
Could have been an uncle.
Right. So anyway, in his first 2 years of grade school, he received A's and B's, slight glimmer of hope in his early stages of development, but would be later be tested to have an IQ of an 86.
86.
86, which puts him right smack in the dab in the middle of the below average percentile.
He's just under the more
Right.
clever possums.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen those fuckers problem solve, but they know what's going on.
and likely due to life at home
It goes
in his
clever
later school years.
possum, Shawcross, raccoon.
What's the minimum to be in military? What's the IQ minimum?
Is there a minimum?
Yeah,
75.
I
No
think it
way
is-
it's that low.
It's low as
Well,
shit.
I mean,
No.
you're not getting.
No way.
You're not, listen, if it's 75, you're not getting past the Army infantry, and you're the first motherfucker to go into anywhere.
It's low as shit.
Yeah.
I could be
I'm kind
wrong.
of surprised
but
there
it's-
is a minimum, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess, I'll take that as a win,
Well,
but
I mean, they are giving them
75.
weapons, so you need.
Yeah.
at least
You need to be able to-
be able to hold it the right direction.
Listen, we think there's
Right.
landmines over there, so we're
Exactly.
just going to push you in that
now
direction.
maybe they do have landmine testers.
Yeah, yeah. That wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Ugh,
It's
made
an
myself
unfortunate
cringe on
thing.
that
If you have if you're a grunt and you're just in the
Okay,
shit.
so apparently
have you ever met someone? I'm sorry. have you
the
ever-
number is loosely 81, but like they
still so low.
apparently
Still
they
pretty
did
low.
testing and basically like if you're below 81, you're more of a danger to everyone around you.
Right.
I would say
Because they can be like, okay, we need you to go this direction and shoot these guys, and they're like, which team am I on?
Again,
Honestly,
it's not a team.
Again, we're kind of doing a thing.
Have you ever like I don't know if you guys have ever met somebody who's absolutely been in the shit. Somebody with like a probably lower IQ that's been there. It's
Yeah, there's a
sad.
guy
It's,
at-
I bet it is.
It's
Yeah.
sad.
There's a guy at my work who I don't think he's got a lower IQ, but he was definitely in the shit because his truck is kitted out with all of the fucking like combat
Yeah.
vets association and like, my
yeah.
M16 could
Right.
kill your honor student type shit. And he also like has a couple tattoos. He's like this huge dude. He's like so tall that when I stood up and I was like, oh hey, how's it going? And like, to meet him and like shook his hand and stuff, I was like, oh shit, this guy's big. He's got a couple tattoos that like he's a white dude and like when you look at him, there's certain ones that you're like, is that Nordic or Germanic or a Nazi tattoo?
Yeah.
I can't tell. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know
those
exactly
three
what you're saying.
interlocking triangles. Are you a druid or a white supremacist? What's the deal? You gotta give
the
stuff-
most fucked up thing I ever heard meeting somebody who's absolutely been in the shit. I was at Broadway Brew House downtown. So it was like late at night, post work, and this guy kind of strange, but trying to like make new friends, but he's kind of socially awkward in a way to where like he just doesn't know how to approach people. But we're like still like talking to him and whatever. Like we're trying to like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Come to find out that he was in the army and he had just gotten called back in to like go serve. And he's worried about us getting into war with people in Ukraine. He's like, listen, man, I can't kill somebody that speaks the same language as I do. Granted, they have Russian, but they also probably majority know how to speak at least a little English over
I
there.
can't kill a white person. I was in the army. I'm not used to that.
This guy was like breaking down and crying. He's like, I can't go over there and kill somebody that I can have a conversation with, which is fucked up on a whole.
There's a lot of levels.
lot of levels to that.
Dehumanizing of the enemy.
Right.
That is just rife in
Exactly.
the military where they're like othering people.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, they seem to be gearing up for war with China and Russia because apparently they're the big bad guys all the time. And Canada just fucking saluted a SS fucking veteran who's like 80 fucking 4
On
years
accident.
old, but whatever. That was not on accident. You know, people knew he was in the SS.
Apparently, the guy who put him there was like, complete accident, my fault, resigned.
Horseshit. There's so many Nazis in Ukraine. I mean, come
That's
on,
fun.
dude. No, they for real saluted like an 84-year-old SS.
Cheered him
veteran.
and everything, yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
You know, a guy who fought against the Russians during World War II, as if that wasn't like enough of a clue for people.
Wait a minute.
Weren't they our friends? Aren't they the reasons the Nazis stopped killing people?
Look, Joseph, that was at least 40, 50 years ago.
I mean, what did the United
we
States
don't
do?
remember
We
those
took all the
things.
Nazis and put them in NASA and put them in the United Nations. What did Russia do? They put them against a wall. I know which way I would have gone. Anyway.
Anyway, back to Shawcross's childhood.
Yes. Sorry. I got ranting.
He was tested to have an IQ of 86, likely due to his life at home. In his later school years, he would act out violently and was known to be a bully. He dropped out of high school in 1960. The years following were reckless, to say the least. He was frequently arrested for arson and burglary.
How old is he at this point?
So he had
I
just
forgot when he was born. So
born in 45.
45 to 60. He's 16. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
thanks.
16, 18. Yeah.
Damn, how did he not get drafted? If this was during...
Oh,
Okay,
well,
okay,
well,
all right.
buddy, just let me tell the fucking story.
Sorry. I forgot you were doing the thing.
The years following were reckless, to say the least. He was frequently arrested for arson and burglary. He was married at 19 to his first wife, Sarah. This is a common theme with this guy, by the way. Like, there should be a wife counter started
Wife counter.
right now.
Got it.
So he was married at 19 to his first wife, Sarah, had a kid, and got arrested again for second-degree burglary. He then gets drafted into the army, divorces his wife, and gives up the rights to his son, who he never saw again. Not even 5 months later, marries his second wife, Linda, and spends...
That's good, ex-wife.
Right.
It's the perfect ex-wife name.
His second wife, Linda, and spends the first year of their marriage in Vietnam. Now, this is where he's truly broken. I mean,
His honeymoon was in fucking Quezon.
Right.
That sucks.
I think the kid and the first wife made out well. All things
Yeah,
considered.
they probably got out okay.
buddy.
I was actually
We'll
thinking
get in,
I was like, good for that.
Yeah,
kid.
good for them.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, can you imagine being drafted into Vietnam and you're there and everything sucks and you're just listening to Creedence Clearwater and you're like, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get home.
I'm really glad that you said that because the second that you said it, and especially when you said Quesada, I was like,
Yeah, Fortunate Son just starts playing. Yeah, but like, but you're in a unit, right? And you're just like marching through the jungle, and then Arthur Shawcross shows up, and they're like, "Hey, he's in your unit." And you're like, "Fuck!"
This is where it gets really goes. I mean, we've all heard like
he's
the
Forrest
stories
Gump.
about...
Oh my God, he's Forrest Gump.
Holy shit.
Dude. So we've all heard the horrors of Vietnam, you know, the guerrilla warfare, the slaughtering of innocent civilians. I think I even read somewhere that the United States dropped 30 billion pounds of ammunition. Do you know what the explosive force equivalent is?
Is that like 100,000 Hiroshimas?
640 Hiroshima bombs.
Okay, I am
A little overboard.
I was a little high.
But
That is a.
it's still a lot.
That's still a lot. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I
It's
was
some
being like
fucked up jungles and
exaggerative,
rice
but
paddies.
like
Right.
that's crazy.
And dude, this guy was right in the middle of it. You know, he was exposed to Agent Orange.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Agent Orange.
Yeah, had over 3 dozen confirmed kills and turned into an absolute monster.
Over 3 dozen
This
confirmed.
This guy was crazy.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
He would boast about the villages he would slaughter.
Wait, which team?
He would boast about the villages he would slaughter. About how he beheaded what he called mama-sans and nailed their heads to trees to warn the Viet Cong. He even admitted to engaging in cannibalism during this time.
Holy shit.
It's pretty fucking unbelievable.
Is this like the mommy blowing him thing though? Is he lying a
He
little
could
bit?
be blown out of proportion, but
He
still.
probably killed some. I'm
Pretty
sure he
unbelievable,
killed a
right?
good amount.
You would be absolutely right because none of that happened. None of it. Like,
And a
none of
liar,
that happened.
too.
He did none of it. He lied about it all.
good job.
During his time in Vietnam, he was nothing more than a supply clerk and saw absolutely no combat action.
This piece of shit.
The war ended, and he was briefly stationed in Oklahoma as an armorer and was honorably discharged in 1969. Everything he claimed he did, he got from novels and movies.
Amazing. did.
This motherfucker. This is like fucking
Right.
Four Leaf
By
from
the
goddamn
way-
Tropic Thunder.
By the way, writing this,
I was just thinking about that.
yeah.
writing this worked out perfectly. I just have to say, like, that was awesome.
You absolutely had me convinced.
Yeah, I was like, this
I was like, well,
motherfucker's
that's
crazy.
why he's a serial killer.
He's
Because he
moving
did
through the
that
jungle like
and
Schwarzenegger,
Right,
man.
this
That's
guy
fucking
was-
crazy.
Yeah, but he was literally just fucking
He's just
writing.
watching movies. And
And
it's
then
like,
I totally fucking cut this lady's head off, and then I fucking nailed it to the tree because it was like fucking scary.
dude, I'm just imagining this guy if he would have like if this would have happened in
it
the
was like
80s
fucking scary or whatever.
or like 90s, he would have been like, yeah, and then this giant predator killed off my entire platoon, but I killed it by myself.
then I was the only one left, and I knew that I had to like counteract this invisibility. Right?
I told my platoon to get to the chopper. To the chopper.
and then I said, "Get to the chopper," and
Right.
then everyone ran to the chopper.
They didn't make it except for me.
I was the only one
absolutely
who lived.
before Predator, and so the guy that wrote the film was like, "Oh wait, slow down. This
Yeah,
is
hold
good."
on. Invisible alien with dreadlocks? What?
I was really ripped, and this other black guy, he was really ripped, and like, you know, we like,
Fucking clasp hands.
yeah,
It was really cool.
Yeah, biceps bulging. Yeah,
I made myself a bow and arrow and tied a grenade to it. I ran around with a red bandana.
This is like a guy who lives
Why am I
in
turning into Jesse Ventura?
this to me seems like the kind of guy who lives in like Franklin, who like watched The Hurt Locker and then just got really into the idea of being a soldier and walks around telling people that he was in the Gulf. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets discharged. He's stationed in Oklahoma, and
What
this
was
is
he honorably discharged for? Would they say?
it's probably just time served.
This is done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like getting out of prison. You put in your time. Get on out of here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically exactly what it's like.
Except they pay you.
Except they pay you, right?
But then you blow it all on like a Dodge Charger that just gets repossessed. I'm sorry.
That sounded suspiciously specific.
It was very specific. I don't know if you've been to Clarksville. It's nothing but
I
car
was about to say-
dealerships, liquor stores, strip clubs, and fucking tattoo shops. And it's all the worst versions of those awesome things, except
Yeah.
car dealerships suck, but whatever.
Anyway, so while he was stationed in Oklahoma, this is where Arthur starts to show his true colors, or at least this is where we start to have first-hand accounts of Arthur's disturbing behavior, foremost from his wife, Linda, most notably his obsession with starting fires. An army psychiatrist would later claim that Shawcross derived sexual arousal from setting these fires. After he was discharged, he and his wife moved to Clayton, New York. Linda soon divorces Arthur. Don't know why.
Good.
Right.
Probably because she woke
Right.
up and was like, I can't do
Because
this.
fires give
I
him
can't
boners.
do this anymore.
Okay, all things considered,
Enough said.
she most likely married him because she was like, "Oh, you're going away? Free check for me? Easy."
Perfect. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then like he came back, and she's like, "No, well."
We're living in Oklahoma. He keeps jerking off to trash can fires. I really am having some second thoughts.
So while he's in Clayton, though, he starts going back to doing his thing. You know, little arson here, a little burglary there, until he's finally arrested and sentenced for 5 years at the Attica Correctional Facility and later the Auburn Correctional Facility. Just 22 months into his sentence, he was given an early release. So he was arrested and sentenced for 5 years and then gets released early.
Do you have the numbers for the burglaries? Like,
I
how
don't
much
know.
money?
It was yeah.
Because I'm wondering if like Linda's
a
coming
little too
home
deep.
and she's like, "Did you get a job?" It's like, "No, baby, I got $500."
Where'd you get that watch?
But after the 22 months in the sentence, he's given an early release, partly due to his role in rescuing a correctional officer. After his release in 1971, sorry, Grant, you had something?
Run that by me again. I think I missed the.
So
He saves the correction.
So he saves a correctional officer during a riot and gets
Saved.
released.
Okay.
And gets released pretty close afterwards
Because he did a good thing.
because he did a good thing.
Sure.
Right.
In their eyes. Got
Which
it.
team am I on again?
Right.
He started the riot, then forgot and switched halfway through.
Right. And so after his release, he moves back to his hometown in Watertown, New York, marries again to his third wife, Penny, number 3.
Okay.
Settles down and puts his life of petty crime behind him. But this is where he picks up murdering children. All right.
So he graduated crime,
Right,
not so
right.
much put it away.
Exactly, right. So May 7th, 1972, 10-year-old Jack Blake goes missing.
Oh, boy.
What I haven't told you yet is that Arthur was an avid fisherman. He spent a lot of his free time in the river. Of
course he
It
was.
was known to harass children that would hang out there. And on more than one occasion, apparently, He would grab them and stuff leaves down their pants, like dirt, leaves, sticks. He would just stuff them down their pants.
That's a hell of a harassment.
Right.
I thought he was being get out of here, you're disturbing my fish.
This is also the
that's-
70s.
Yeah.
You know, like you probably
Still,
got.
you'd think there'd be like one cop
Right.
who's like, "Hey, I know it's the '70s, but like, maybe we should check in on this dude."
Right. Until one day he
Maybe
meets
think of a
Jack.
bit.
Now, it's
get
funny you
there
say that
later.
because the police have been keeping an eye on Arthur due to all this bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
good for them, I guess.
Like, due to his consistent harassment of these kids and especially the sexual connotations associated with the stuffing of leaves down minors' pants.
When he did that, would he like yell at them? Like, did he seem
Oh, yeah.
angry, or did he seem like, "Yes, this is what happens to bad children"? You know?
Probably a little bit of both. If I had to guess.
Give it some more baby talk, though.
Yeah, more
This is
baby
what
talk.
happened to bad children.
I regret saying that.
Listen, you set it up, dude. You put it on the T-ball stand.
I did.
So, but when Jack goes missing, Arthur was the first person they questioned, right? Arthur, of course, said he had no idea what happened to him and denied any involvement in his disappearance.
Yeah, he killed almost 40 men in Nam for y'all,
Right.
okay?
Right, exactly.
You can afford to lose a kid or two.
Right. However, Arthur did claim that the boy kept following him, and after repeatedly telling the boy to go home and not to follow him, Jack didn't listen. So Arthur apparently then hit him between the eyes once and just left him there.
He admitted that?
That's what he.
So
yeah,
his defense was, "No, I just clocked this
No.
kid between the eyes
This
and left
kid
his unconscious
fucking
body
left
by
him.
the river."
No, I didn't
Right.
harass him. He harassed
Harassed me.
me.
Hey, mister, fuck you.
and I
So-
punched him in the face for
He
it.
punched him in the
So
face.
I'm going to need a wife counter and also a bullshit counter because that's the third time
This
I'm
is-
I
calling
think we're up
bullshit.
to
This is
three on
three
both.
on
Yeah.
bullshit, right? As I mentioned earlier, the police already did not like Arthur, but without any physical evidence, they did not have enough to arrest Shawcross.
So this kid's just missing.
This kid's just missing
Okay.
now, right?
Well, at least he's on their radar.
Right.
I hope.
Right. But 4 months later, in September, another child goes missing. This time it's
He's still married, right?
yes to Penny.
I know you love this. A lot of serial killers are married. I'm sorry. Jamie, you will find
This
the
dude's been
person
married
for
3
you.
times. And we're not even through the episode yet. There could be wife 4 or 5. I don't know. Coming down the pipe.
So
I just can't imagine being married. Like, well, so, sometimes kids go missing. It's not him.
Yeah. Having cops call you and be like, "Hey, your husband keeps stuffing leaves down kids' pants and one of them went missing." Oh, it couldn't be Arthur. No,
Right,
Artie
right.
wouldn't do
He
that.
said he punched one square in the face. Okay, you telling me you've never wanted to punch a kid in the face? We all have wanted to punch a kid
it's
in
the
the face.
70s.
He was brave enough to
We
do it.
punch our children. 4 months later, in September, another child disappears. This time it's 8-year-old Karen Ann Hill, and after 24 hours, her body is found. She was raped, strangled, and mud and grass was shoved into her mouth. Arthur is immediately made their number one suspect.
Great.
Yeah.
He's linked to Jack's disappearance, and a member of the public had seen Karen close to a bicycle that matched the description of one that Shawcross had owned. And what was not mentioned, but something that I had noticed, was that the use of mud and grass and how Arthur had been known to shove dirt down kids' pants. He was arrested the next day for questioning. Again, he denies any involvement. But after realizing now that he's a prime suspect, Arthur cuts a deal. This is where shit gets really fucked up. Okay, so Arthur tells police that he would admit to killing the girl, for a lesser sentence, said that he would take him back to Jack Blake's remains, which were, in his words, by now skeletonized, I'm afraid. The police did not have enough physical evidence to connect him with either crime and could not guarantee a murder conviction when the case went to trial, so they agreed to terms. On October 17th, 1972, Arthur was allowed to plead guilty to first-degree manslaughter for the killing of Karen Ann Hill and was given an indeterminate sentence of up to maximum of 25 years and was not indicted with Jack's killing.
So they know he killed 2 kids. And they're like,
They
in
have
exchange,
they have a very educated hunch.
they could very
Absolutely.
reasonably
Right.
assume that this guy has killed 2 children because he's leading to the remains of a second one and confessing to a first
Right,
one.
but an assumption is not hard evidence.
I know what you mean. I
Yeah.
just like it just to put myself
It's
in
fucked.
that mind space of being like, I'm the type of person that can say, you will admit to killing one child and lead me to the remains of another child, and I won't say that you killed him, just that you led us to his remains and we won't indict you for it. It's like to work.
Yeah.
It makes me feel gross.
Yeah, it's
This whole
dirty
thing
as
is just
fuck.
so like upsetting.
It's very dirty.
But it's our legal system.
Now, despite the lengthy sentence of his indictment, Arthur at this point feels relatively confident. I mean, the way that it was so easy for him to talk down the police showed him that he could just play the system and that he was in control. And he does it again. Arthur, having been in prison before, knows that if you behave yourself as a model prisoner and somebody in the community sponsors you with a job and a place to live, you can be released on parole. And he finally gets his chance after meeting a social worker and future fourth wife, Rose Wally. Who considered him to be rehabilitated and no longer a danger to society.
Okay, first of all, it makes me very, very sad that someone with the IQ of 86 can figure out the system that well.
Yeah.
Because that means it's a bad system.
Really speaks to our system.
It really does. Number two, how fucking charming is this guy? Like, what kind of game is this dude spitting? Like,
Seriously.
Buddy,
that's impressive.
when I show you the picture later, you're going to be like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Because also, this is a caseworker. This is a very jaded.
This is a woman who's probably been
Yeah.
used to dealing with these motherfuckers in and out, day after
To
day.
say that he...
How
that-
in
yeah.
the world is it?
Does she not
him
just, her
that
bullshit
she's
detector
like-
just cut right through this?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. How many years has he served until he meets Rose?
I think he served 14 of the 25 years.
This motherfucker served half of his plea deal for killing 2 kids?
Yeah, 14.
Fuck.
Sorry, yeah, 14 and a half of
There are
his
people
25 year
serving
sentence.
longer than that for fucking weed convictions right now. Fuck.
Yeah, but weed's a gateway drug.
Oh my God.
Gotta laugh through the pain, baby.
So they moved to Binghamton in upstate New York and tried to
Binghamton?
Binghamton,
Woo.
upstate New York,
Hell yeah. Represent.
and try to settle down into their quaint small town home. But if Jason,
Piece of shit.
you're gonna hate me for this one. But if Jason Aldean taught us anything, you won't make it far down the road in a small town.
God damn it.
Low bar jar.
Yeah, I was
Low
about to
bar
say,
jar.
like,
That is.
Come on, that was great.
That's it.
That
It's
was
great.
fantastic.
It's great, and you're going into the
That
into
was
the low bar.
it was
fantastic.
great. It was topical. I'm loving
like
it,
it.
but
Yes, you
Yeah,
did a
yeah,
good
yeah.
job and
All
a
right.
bad job.
That's a
I
dollar,
want you to
yeah.
put $1
That's a dollar
in our
for sure.
low
$1?
bar.
Is
Yeah.
it just $1?
It's
Because
just
we're
$1.
between 1 and 5.
That's
I know.
$1,
I'm
yeah.
giving you a full dollar.
$1. Okay.
$1.
You owe the jar $1.
Try that in a small town.
now
Second
it's
dollar.
5.
Now
No,
it's
no,
$2.
that one was 5.
I don't give a fuck. It's going to a good cause. Anyway,
Yeah, it's going to the Jason Aldean fund.
He needs more money. That's what
That's what he needs. That's what Jason
Right.
Aldean needs.
but anyways, the good people of Binghamton, New York, after having learned of his treachery in Watertown, run Arthur and Rose out of town. They both get run out of at least 2 other towns until Arthur is finally relocated to Rochester, New York.
You know what? Good for the citizens of
Right.
Binghamton and the other towns.
Yeah,
you
they're
find a
like, yeah,
motherfucker like that, get him the fuck out.
So what you're saying is that Jason Aldean, there might be some truth to his words?
It's not at all what I said. It's not at all
You're
what I
close
was
to another
implying.
dollar over here.
Yeah, you're actually put another 5 just for saying that.
You're now at
You're at
7?
11.
I'm
No,
at
11.
10 at
Oh
least.
no, you're right. Yeah,
11?
Yeah, 11.
yeah, because you
What was
got
the
you got a
first one?
second 5 for try that in a small town, and then you just racked up another 5.
Yeah.
So I'm at 10.
You're at a, well,
Yeah,
no,
no,
because
the
the
first
first
one
one
was
was also a dollar.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
I mean, hey, listen, man, I want a new pair of shoes. So keep on with your Lynch song.
All right.
Flash to Joseph dressed as the craziest homeless man on Broadway.
I need it.
Need it for a peanut factory.
So they finally get relocated. They get,
Hang on. Has it ever said like how they found out or?
granted, there was no Google back then, but I mean, like,
Word travels fast in a small town.
Jason Aldean again, right?
Is that in the song?
It's implied.
Fuck.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I try not
Okay,
to think
cool. So
about
I'm
him.
okay?
Go ahead.
But
Right.
All right.
it sounds as though like one of them started talking about it, like, "Oh, where are you from? What do you do?"
Right,
and
right.
then he's just
I
like,
kill kids.
Well, I got into a little run-in with the law.
Well, I'm thinking he's having a couple drinks at the bar. And
Fires
he's like,
make
"Oh,
me
I'm a
sexually
vet," and they're like,
aroused.
"Thank you for your
Did
service."
you guys know I was in Vietnam?
Right.
And then that leads to the
and
next
then
thing,
it's
and
just
then
like,
that leads.
I killed 34 people, beheaded somebody, and they're like, "I don't know if we should let him in."
Yeah, I'll look both Agent Orange.
I glow in the dark, and I have tumors.
I want to stick to the baby talk thing, but I really don't want to hear it. So we're not.
Like, remember?
I was about to do it. I was like, I can't.
Who was it? The guy from the Abe Lincoln episode? where like he's like bragging about everything to like the brothel owner and to like every other bar.
Right.
I'm imagining the same thing. Like he's bragging.
He started talking. He's stupid.
You're
had
never
some
going to
drinks.
guess how I got only 14 and a half years in my 25 sentence.
So how'd you guys meet? Like, you guys are such a cute couple.
Well,
You guys are such a great couple. Like, what's the meet cute? What's the story?
What's your secret?
So I was in prison for killing someone.
I was in jail for killing these two cats. And,
well, one cat.
well, that's a whole thing. Sit down. I'll tell you about it.
it was a plea deal. It wasn't real.
So they both get. So Arthur's finally relocated to Rochester, New York, and the bigger city made it easier for Arthur to blend in. He finds a job working the night shift at a food prepping company called G&G Cheese, and frequently would go out trolling for prostitutes after he got off work.
Reeking of cheese.
It's just reeking of cheese.
Do you like Havarti?
Do I smell Gouda?
You know what? Take $1 off his tab. Just $10.
I like that. I like the redemption rule.
Yeah, you get a redemption roll. I think that's fair. See if you can get back to 0 by the end of the episode.
So I guess sometime in this, between him moving from Binghamton to Rochester, he divorces his third wife. Or maybe he's still married, but he has a mistress at this time named Clara Neal.
Seriously, how?
Fourth wife and a mistress.
I'm just blown away at how much this guy fucks.
This guy fucks, dude.
Like, it's insane.
It's crazy.
Just that fiery personality.
So Clara, who worked at a nursing home where Shawcross would often visit her, she was 56 years old and had 10 children, and the relationship was described as anything but blissful. They would argue and fight, and she would kick him out and let him back in. However, despite the hostility to Arthur, it was relatively stable as far as relationships go in his life.
This is his mistress?
This is his mistress.
A 56-year-old woman with 10 kids who yells at him all the time?
And he's like, you know what? I got it pretty good.
Oh, it sounds like Mama.
It does sound like Mama, actually.
Yeah.
Mama
Sounds
Mistress.
Like Bessie. Yeah.
So he stays.
Mama Mistress 4 is actually really good. I don't know if you guys have seen the new one.
Are you talking about the internet documentaries?
Yeah, the documentaries.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out. So he stays quiet for a while, but would soon get the itch to kill again. This time, though, he understands that if he wants to kill again, he's going to have to change his approach. Children, while easy targets, drew too much attention. He realizes that the women of the night that he would frequent meant nothing to nobody.
We always come back to this.
Can
Sex workers
somebody
being dismissed
say
as nothing.
modus operandi?
I mean, seriously, though. And most true crime podcasts often advocate for legalizing sex work because
It's the only logical thing to do.
So much of this, it's the oldest job in the world.
Yeah.
We're going to keep doing it. Just let us
We're
do
never
it.
going to stop it. You might as well give people protections,
Exactly.
especially because they're doing a job.
So, March 24th, 1998, a woman is found under a bridge by a couple of hunters in Salmon Creek in Northampton Park. The woman is identified to be Dorothy Blackburn, a prostitute who was reported missing after she never came back for her 6-month-old child, who she had left with her neighbor.
Oh,
Damn.
She was last seen on Lyle Avenue, a street known by police to be frequented by prostitutes. Her murder goes unsolved for a year because due to her profession, it could have been anybody. A post-mortem report showed that she had been strangled and her genitals had been bitten.
fantastic.
But Arthur goes quiet, but he's showing various problems. Now, based on common themes we've encountered in sexual deviant psycho killers, what do you think his major problem is?
Oh, me?
Yeah, all of you here.
What do I
he's
think
got
is-
so many. Like,
There's a lot of problems. I'm going to say
But of all the sexual deviants that we've covered so far in the Murder Schmurder podcast, what do you think his number one problem is?
he probably can't come unless he's doing something violent.
That's right. The majority of his life was a fucking wet noodle.
ding, 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 ding. Great job.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
to build
You
up
know,
to that.
I mean,
Fantastic.
it's unfortunate how
Right.
much of this is crawling around my noggin, but
This amongst
No, I was sad earlier when he mentioned that fires gave him sexual arousal. I was like, yep, that's a thing. And then I was like, God, why do I know that?
So, this among the rest of Arthur's bullshit led to problems with his relationship with Clara. You know, the relationship that was already going so well. So, the pee-pee-less and now girlfriendless Arthur becomes a ticking time bomb waiting to explode.
Are we thinking at this point that he kills and then his dick works for a while? Or is he usually impotent?
I think he's usually impotent.
So his dick works before,
Or
during, and after the
suffers
killing.
from
I would
ED,
guess.
whatever
Right.
you say. Yeah.
He sounds like a process killer.
Right.
Like
Right.
he's like,
The
I
build
want,
up to it excites him.
exactly.
The process,
yeah.
of course,
the
very much excites him.
ritualization of it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's great. So again, 4 women so far.
This is 4 wives and a mistress.
4 wives and a mistress.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Maybe
And
he's
trolling
maybe he's really good at head. Maybe that's what it is. 'Cause
Maybe.
it's the 70s and he's really good at head.
but he's
Yeah.
also out
He's
there
a shining
trolling for
knight.
stoots.
Probably the only guy in Rochester, New York in the 70s who owns a copy of the Kama Sutra, and that counts for a lot.
He found it in
Yeah.
Vietnam.
I'll eat your butt. And they're just like, okay.
I still say Linda came in for the money deal.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
She might have. There's no way of
Still
knowing.
though.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Like, oh, you're gonna be off in war. You're gonna
Let me get a clarification point. So 4 wives, 1 mistress, and 1 kid that he abandoned and never saw again.
One kid that he abandoned and never saw again.
Man, for fucking significant relationships with 5 women and only 1 bastard that
One
you
children-
like,
one
drop
child
like a
out of
hot
that.
potato. That's not bad.
He's also rocking a limp noodle. That's
That's
pretty
true,
clear.
but his dick don't work that well.
Yeah.
Okay. Retracted.
So Arthur comes a ticking time bomb. Boom. We're going to go back in time a little bit.
Sorry, just the cue.
September 11th.
You set yourself up for that.
I
love
sure
it.
did.
I love it. Come on.
I sure did. September 11th, 1988. So we're going back in time.
Mm-hmm.
A woman is found by the Genesee Gorge, hidden under roofing shingles and brush. Her tank top is around her wrist and pants around her ankles. This time, the woman is so skeletal that she is unrecognizable. Her skull was taken to a forensic pathologist in Syracuse, where they were able to reconstruct it. A picture of the woman is put in the newspaper and is later identified by her father to be Anna Stefan, another prostitute and mother of 2. She had gone missing earlier that July, but nobody reported her missing because, well, she was always known for disappearing. So we now have this body. Then the bodies start just piling up, and the police are struggling to figure out who's killing these women. Besides all of the victims being of a particular transient nature, police couldn't turn up any other evidence. No fingerprints, no fingernail scrapings, no semen. They couldn't even tell if they were being raped before they were murdered or murdered before they were raped. Until finally, on October 27th, 1989, Patricia Ives was found, and now the deaths are starting to show similarities. All 4 bodies that have been found so far are within 1.5 miles of each other. Patricia just being over the hill from Anna Stefan. And all of these prostitutes are known to work in the areas of West Main Street and Lyle Avenue. This tells police that instead of possibly multiple killers, there's most likely just one. Now, the police begin to mobilize. They warn the sex workers of the area that they are in danger, and they implement a whole variety of techniques. They use surveillance teams, people with binoculars on rooftops. Every traffic ticket was looked at, every parking ticket, foot beats, extra paroles, and other.
Don't forget about other.
You can't forget about other.
An important
we had a
category.
couple cops have
Right.
to sleep with some of the prostitutes.
Just to be sure.
I was going to say, I was just getting back to
That's really where my head went. Or like the South Park
Yeah,
bit where
that's what I'm
the
saying.
detective is dressed as a hooker.
the field interviews were conducted with sex workers.
So they probably pressured him into an HJ.
Detectives are informed that a man named Mitch, who worked down at, you would never guess,
The cheese factory.
the G&G Cheese Food Prepping Company,
Yeah.
was often seen talking to women in the area. So now they really wanted to get a look at this Mitch guy. But they make the mistake of talking to the day shift management at G&G Cheese, who had no connection to Arthur, instead of the night shift, who did. And now, with no strong leads, more bodies are being found.
And the night shift manager, I feel like an immediate one. This is like, hey, we've kind of gotten, somebody's killing a bunch of hookers.
Yep.
And we might think it might be associated with one of your guys. We don't know. We're just trying to follow some leads. Like, oh, you're talking about Artie? That dude's weird as shit.
No, but the night shift manager would have clocked in a second. Oh, you mean Artie? Yeah, his name's not Mitch.
Right. I was gonna say, yeah, like that they're
what I
looking
mean.
for Mitch. You
Yeah.
know, like they'd.
Still,
no,
I feel
there's
like
not a Mitch that works
the
here.
nighttime
Yeah.
manager would be like, no, it's Artie. Mitch is
Now, I
fine.
can almost 100% guarantee you it's that guy.
So
Mitch is a little creepy, but it's fucking Artie. I know it.
right now, with no strong leads, more bodies being found, and perhaps one too many stale donuts, the pressure is on. Rochester police decides that they need some help, so they combine forces with state police out of fear that the murderer would eventually move the bodies outside of their jurisdiction and that his behavior would continue to escalate. November 11th, 1989. It escalated. June Scott, a 30-year-old woman, was found just like all the others near the river, this time at Turning Point Park, only this time it was worse. Her labia was removed, and her body was cut from sternum to pubic bone. a technique known as a deer hunter's cut. And to make matters worse,
Why did they? I know why they named it. Never mind. It's common enough. Sorry, go ahead.
And to make matters worse, June knew Arthur and was actually on friendly terms with him. This means that Arthur has moved on from his murder lust of prostitutes and is now also targeting women within his social circle. Arthur also is now on a rampage. The abductions and killing are becoming more and more frequent, and the mutilations are becoming more severe. The police, ever more desperate, hire an FBI profiler. Fun fact, during the 80s, this is when the concept of behavioral profiling became very
I was
prominent.
about to say the BAU is just getting started.
With all the evidence they currently have and this relatively new technique, they come up with a preliminary profile. They figure that their suspect is a lone middle-aged man in his 30s, check. A menial type worker, like somebody who works in an assembly line, check. Somebody who drives a lot, we'll get to that in a second. Someone who frequents the river like a fisherman, check. Someone familiar with the gorge, he's a fisherman, yes. Capable with a relationship with a female. He's got, 4 wives and a mistress at this point?
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
Yeah, he's doing
As
just
far
fine.
as pulling them in, not keeping them, but
However, the relationship would be an unstable one. Chickity check.
there we go.
Sexually dysfunctional, yes. Potential to return to the scene, we don't know. Not educated, borderline retarded. Not good looking, which when I show you the picture,
Hang on.
check.
How do you figure that part out?
I would love to know that.
It is interesting how they look at all this stuff and they're like,
Yeah.
this is a left-handed
Well, you
guy
have
who
to
works the night shift and loves green stuff.
If it was me, I would have to think that somebody who's going after prostitutes probably isn't all too good looking.
Sure.
You know?
That would be probably a big factor in them determining that. But
Right.
the other thing is really, especially when it comes to criminal levels of social inabilities or being socially inadept to the point of it becoming criminal, it's a pretty small pool, right? And so they've mapped and cataloged all the attributes to all these other people. And they found out pretty quickly, actually. Like when they first started, the FBI first started doing this, they were like, oh, it's actually all of these things, it's just a few people. It's weird, how strikingly similar a lot of these people are based
Interesting.
on how they kill people, who they kill, how often, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you can tell, they're onto something with this. I mean,
Yeah.
he matches a lot of what they assumed that he was probably look and act like. So, by December of 1989, detectives linked 7 victims to the killer and 3 more who were thought to be missing. And then on New Year's Eve, police were handed a vital piece of evidence. A passing motorist located a pair of boots on the snow-covered highway in Northampton Park. In the nearby field, they find a pair of jeans, and in the pocket, the birth certificate of 20-year-old Felicia Stevens, yet another sex worker of Lyle Avenue. The police call the Rochester Crime Analysis Unit to see if the girl had been reported missing. They don't find anything about the girl, but they do get a hold of the girl's mother, who told them that she hadn't seen her daughter since December after a falling out they had. Something about her being a sex worker.
I was just about to make that joke, but never mind. It's right there in the script.
right there in the script. Even though they don't have a body, they assume that she's connected to the case and start their own missing persons investigation. They bring out dogs, horses, state troopers, city police, and Rochester Police's very own helicopter. Would you believe that Rochester had a
helicopter?
Have a helicopter. They search for 3 days, nothing turns up, and so they try flying from Northampton to Lyle Avenue. 2 minutes into their flight, they spot a body frozen underneath a bridge.
Took 2 minutes into the
2
flight.
fucking minutes.
And you know what? I bet the helicopter pilot was like, yeah, my salary doesn't seem so outrageous now, does it? Why don't you go fuck yourself, accounting team.
They spot a frozen body underneath a bridge, and on the top of the bridge, a Chevy Celebrity.
Chevy Celebrity.
A Chevy Celebrity.
Isn't that
Oh.
a station wagon?
It's kind of more of like a sedan. When you look up a picture of this car, you're like, serial killer.
Yeah.
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 It's
one of
like-
those weird old fat ass hatchback. Kind
Yeah.
of deals, right?
Yeah. Definitely a fucking pedophile car.
Yeah.
And the passenger door is open, and a man is urinating out of the passenger side. You got a picture of the car here?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's a
a-
straight up and down.
it's a
sedan, but
definite
this is
pedo car.
Absolutely, yeah, pedo car. Look at that.
Like the car salesman's like, sir, I know exactly what car you need.
I clocked you the minute you walked on the lot. Let me show you the celebrity.
You're a Chevy Celebrity guy. I can tell.
This is like the pleated khaki pants of cars.
It really is.
Yeah.
It totally is. It's a fucking pedo-mobile.
2 minutes into the flight, they spot a body frozen underneath a bridge, and on top of the bridge, a Chevy Celebrity, passenger door open, and a man urinating out of the passenger side.
Like right near the fucking body.
Right there. right on top of it. The man looks at the helicopter,
Oh shit!
zips up his pants, and slides into the driver's seat and begins to head east towards the village of Spencerport.
Hold on,
he
cuts
do
it
it-
off midstream because it stings when you do that.
So he's driving. Yeah. So does he do a fucking Dukes of Hazzard slide across the hood?
I would
Still
see a
pissing him?
helicopter. Like, oh, that's not good.
I honestly imagine he's probably finishing up a pee.
Yeah.
And he hears something in the background.
Yeah, and he's like, "That's not
It's
a
just
bird."
this- and he's like,
Surely
he's
it's
taking
not
a
about
piss,
me.
Right. He's taking a piss. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, like he has a radio like going on in the background.
Yeah, turns it down.
He turns around and he sees this little helicopter in the background, and he's like, he turns around, he's still peeing, he's just looking at it, and notices that it's getting closer. Just and then like it finally gets close enough to where he knows he's like, ah, fuck.
They see me.
I think he's finally finished his piss at this point, and just
Did they say
zips it
how
up.
they notice the body? Like, is it infrared?
So it was underneath a bridge.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had like binoculars or something.
I was about to say the angle of the.
Yeah. And so they probably like were able to look in underneath the bridge and probably see something.
Yeah.
This is going to sound kind of fucked up, and I don't mean it to be belittling or anything, but it's kind of like if you look at like a Where's Waldo or like Wimbledon or whatever the fuck they call it, where it's like a, hey, look for this. Once
Yeah.
you see it, you can't stop seeing it.
Right.
And I'm sure like some of the clothes were off, so there's exposed skin. You see that, and then you're just like, that's the shape of a human body. There's nothing else it could be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're probably also flying pretty low.
Yeah. You got to think it's upstate New York at this point.
There's a lot of fucking trees.
There's a lot of
and it's in
trees.
the like late 80s, so
But
there's
there's
probably
no
more
mountains.
trees. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're probably pretty close.
Anywho, so the
He cuts off
he
midstream,
cuts off his stream.
jumps in the car.
Right. And he heads towards the village of Spencerport. The helicopter follows the man. Troopers are called.
Of course it does. What do you think? I'll lose him in Spencerport.
Right. Troopers are called, and the vehicle finally pulls into the back parking lot of a
Cheese factory.
nursing home.
Oh, damn.
A nursing
Yeah.
home.
Who do we know works at a nursing home?
Not my mistress.
Not my mistress.
Fled to the mistress.
Troopers arrive and one heads into the home. The trooper begins talking to a man who introduces himself as Arthur Shawcross. The trooper then asks for the man's license and registration.
Dude, I knew it was gonna be Shawcross, but I needed you to say it before. How fucked up is that? Look, a lot of people love to go back to the scene of the crime. This motherfucker is actively pissing.
Yeah.
On one
Apparently
of
a
his victims.
stone's throw from a fucking body.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he's intentionally pissing on the fucking body.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like
He
to
probably
me.
just got done jerking off thinking about how he killed this poor woman, and then he's like having a post-nut piss, you know,
Yeah.
where it kind of like forks in half and sprays everywhere, which is why he's pissing outside. He's like, oh, this is great, the great outdoors. And then this fucking cop is
I don't
still
have to
like,
worry about aiming. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
And then this cop's like, hey, can I see your license and registration? Take him down, dude.
Right.
Where's that police brutality y'all are all about, man?
Right.
Well, he's white.
So, but this is the best part. Remember, Arthur is still technically on parole this whole time.
oh, sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Because
he is.
Because you know
Early release
he
and
got,
everything.
he got
It's a
released.
25-year sentence, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
still on parole. So the trooper asks him for his license and registration, and Shawcross replies, I don't really have a license. I'm on parole.
Best answer.
Well, you see, I'm
Needless to say, the
technically
police
not
have some
allowed
questions.
to drive.
Right.
So I know this isn't the biggest thing that you guys caught me doing, but I'm not really supposed to be driving right now.
So they had some questions. It didn't take long for the police to find out Shawcross's past, and as troopers conducted the initial interview, the forensics team went to work identifying the body. Unfortunately, it wasn't Stevens, the one that they were originally looking for, but it was another missing prostitute, June Cicero. Cicero was known by her colleagues as Queen Bee due to her mean and aggressive behavior. The ladies knew to stay out of her way, and she was cut to the bone on both sides of her crotch, and her sex organs had been attempted to be removed.
God damn.
Is he fucking making necklaces over
Yeah.
here? Jesus.
Seriously.
Man.
How bad do you need a coin purse?
$5.
$5?
I don't know. I was on the fence of even making him pay. That's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not taking that away.
It's fucking, that hurts.
$1?
Yeah.
$3.
Three. Let's
$3.
meet in the middle.
$3.
$3.
Okay.
Okay.
there you go.
All right. All right.
They bring Shawcross to a restaurant, buy him lunch, and begin to talk. Arthur claimed to know nothing about the body and was simply taking a piss, shrugging off the police's suspicions. But the more he talked, the more he unwittingly revealed.
This fucking idiot.
Right.
No, I don't know who that was.
They search his apartment. They find handy wipes.
That was I don't know Queen Bee if that's what you're saying. So.
Right.
I'd like to offer my rebuttal. No, you didn't.
They search his apartment and find.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nuh-uh. Like that's his rebuttal. Nuh-uh. I'm here to bone my mistress. I mean, I'm here to bone my mistress. Like that.
They search his apartment and find handy wipes, the same handy wipes they found at the scene, or at least most of the scenes that they would.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He uses the same handy wipes
Right.
and leaves them there.
So
there?
they find these handy wipes and they contact the Ohio company that manufactured the wipes and come to find out that there is only one company in Rochester that uses these particular handy wipes.
It's the cheese.
Is that the cheese company?
Of course
You
it is.
fucking cheap bastard.
Dumb ass stealing sandy wipes from your fucking work
Right.
that you leave at the crime scene. This guy's a fucking idiot and a piece of shit.
Now,
Fuck.
now they need to find a way that conclusively links Shawcross to these murders.
What else do they need? They found him
Proof.
pissing next to a fucking body.
Exactly.
Courtroom style proof. Is
Right.
What they need.
God.
Sex worker Joanne Van
He
Ostrand.
went to jail for killing 2 kids. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So sex worker Joanne Van Ostrand does just
That's a
that.
hell of a name.
I know, right?
Joanne von Ostrand.
I mean, you could be doing more than sex work, baby.
I mean, sex work is more than enough. I mean, listen,
That's an important name right there.
every job is fucking important. But you should
Exactly.
be like a fucking countess or something. Like that is like fucking. That's like ritzy.
Right, right. Like I feel like I'm buying a Joanne Van Ostrand like home video.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like she has a show on
right.
HGTV or something.
Right. She's definitely got
Yeah.
some.
Like she's competing with that. What's that? Joanna, the
I
fucking
just-
Magnolia lady.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
Or
talking
I just love your handbag. What is that? Oh, it's a Joanne Van Nostrand.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
about? A JVN.
Right. Or if she's continuing with the sex work, she's definitely got some Skinamax out there for sure.
Oh, dude, if she is
She's signed a
like that
big
sex
contract.
worker, yeah, she's like in a high rise. Like you have
Cable
to like
television.
you have
money,
to get
yeah.
like checked by a dude before you go through to like meet her, like a doorman.
Right, exactly. So sex worker Joanne Van Ostrand does just that. Another body is found, but this time it's Elizabeth Gibson, another one of Lyle Avenue's finest, who was just seen by Van Ostrand leaving with a man in a Chevy Celebrity. The police show her a picture of the suspect, and Van Ostrand positively IDs the man to be none other than Arthur Shawcross.
Oh yeah, that's definitely that other motherfucker. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure. That's
Then
Oh,
they-
Mitch? Yeah.
Then they went to the one Chevrolet dealer in town, and they were like, "Yeah, he's literally the only guy who's bought a celebrity."
And
Yeah, how did they not link that to?
Yeah, right.
How many Chevy celebrities are
Are they
there?
selling in Rochester? Actually, it's Rochester,
in the
so
early
probably a
90s,
couple.
probably a lot.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Probably
it's like,
crawling with
yeah,
celebrities.
That's definitely that ugly motherfucker and that ugly motherfucking ass car. For sure.
And forensics also find a bevy of evidence in Arthur's car, but none more damning than an earring belonging to June Cicero, the other having been on her body when they found her.
Fantastic.
Find a fucking Lee.
Right, right.
Hit him with a brick. Move on.
Arthur was arrested on January 4th, 1990. He admits to killing 10 women, but says that it was their own fault that he murdered them. For one example, this one broke my gear shift. She tried to steal my wallet. She bit me, and then took police to the locations of the bodies that police had not found.
So you remembered them.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Exactly.
because he visited them.
Right. The body
Fucking
count was
weirdo.
now at 11. The only woman that he would not admit to killing was Felicia Stevens. And why Felicia, you ask? Well, my friends, if you didn't think Arthur was already horrible enough, Felicia was a little different than the rest of his victims, in that she was the only black victim of the 11 killed. So on top of being a vicious, murderous, psychopathic, pathological, lying, limp-dicked sack of shit, he was a racist.
Let's throw a dumbass in there, but yeah, absolutely racist.
What a fuck. He's like, I wouldn't kill a black woman.
Right. Wouldn't even talk to one.
Fucking piece of shit.
Mean-
Fuck this motherfucker.
Meanwhile, I have it on good accounts that Felicia Stevens probably rocked his fucking world.
That's $5.
Yeah.
I'll probably put in 10 for that one. Anyway,
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad you said it, Tim.
$10. In November 1990, Shawcross went on trial for the 10 murders that happened in Monroe County and later for the murder of Elizabeth Gibson, which happened in the neighboring Wayne County. In an attempt to plead insanity, his defense team tried to build his case around his upbringing, post-traumatic stress from his time in the military, assist on
As
his
being a supply clerk.
right, assist on his brain in a rare genetic defect. The prosecution quickly disputed these claims about his childhood and military service, and the psychological evidence from the brain scan and genetic factors were all found to be bogus.
So there's no defect at all, or
they're just
saying that the defect is not enough
Exactly.
to warrant. Okay, I'm very curious as to what that would be.
right. Arthur was found sane and guilty of 10 instances of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 25 years for each account, totaling to 250 years in prison. And then during the trial in Wayne County, Arthur finally decides that the jig is up, pleads guilty, and is sentenced for life in prison at the Sullivan Correctional Facility,
Hooray!
where he would rot until his death in November 2008.
2008.
Did he remain married the whole time?
I meant to put this
He
in
met
here.
my wife number 5.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I get an age on death?
He was like 15 in like 1960.
Yeah.
So he was born in 1945. So 2008 to 1945. What is that?
70?
Is that 63? Fuck.
I feel like
Why am I so
63.
bad?
feel
Was
like
I right?
63.
Nice.
God,
Dude,
Big
you're
brain
crushing
pussy.
math today.
dude, I'm fucking Rain Man today, dude.
Yeah. he
Which
apparently-
also-
I'm fucking autistic, dude. I know what I'm
It's-
talking about.
Dude, fucking
Pathetically
don't-
bad how a group of
Hey, man.
comedians is at math, by the way. That
Literally-
came up a few times. in
No,
the
because
episodes
like
I've listened
with the
to.
Operation Flagship, where we're all trying to do the percentage. One of my friends was like, my favorite part was listening to four or five grown men not be able to do a simple fraction.
I thought the
We're like,
exact
what's
same
10%
thing.
of 2? And we're like, what? I don't know, 5?
I'm not a fucking rocket scientist. I don't know. Well, I look like a nerd. I
The
don't know.
worst part is
That's
I
for
was
those
the
nerds over
calculus
there.
4. Like, I
We're
should know
sad
these
and
things.
funny. What else do you want?
No, I should be good at math. I'm supposed to be good at math. I went to school so much for it.
You're Honduran. You're famously good at math. Is that a stereotype?
I
So
don't think so.
Can we make that a
it's
stereotype?
Let's
So
make it a series.
he had some sort of pain in the leg and he finally died of like cardiac arrest or something.
I hope
like
it
that.
hurt.
You were
It's a
talking
clot.
about being married. I think if I remember correctly, he remarries Rose Wally while he's in prison.
What in the
So they
actual
like renew their
fuck?
vows?
Something like that.
What
That
a
is
fucking
insane.
crazy.
Okay, so my bullshit meter is at like 7, I think, and then our wife count is
I think he was
5 or
married.
6?
He was married 4 times and then had the mistress Clara.
right. But
Yeah.
then we can count the remarriage because I'm going to
Right.
for the sake of this. So we're talking about
5
7.
marriages.
Yeah.
5 long-term relationships.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and
That's amazing.
and 12 prostitutes slaughtered.
If you're keeping count at home.
Sure.
Fuck, man.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I gotta say that this is a process killer. Like, he
Yeah.
really doesn't seem to give a fuck about who it is. You know what I mean? I think he probably always kept some kind of weird propensity for kids, but then realized that that's too difficult.
Like you said, brings the heat down too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too
Cost
difficult.
versus reward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's utilizing something that's less gratifying to him, which probably accounts for the number of deaths, you know, of murders or whatever. That also just leans me heavier towards him being a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
he can't even be committed to what he actually wants.
That's an
a weird-
interesting angle.
Yeah, that's an interesting stance. I was
But I'll side with you because you're saying he's a piece of shit. I agree. I might my math work might show a little different
By
how
the
I
way,
came to that conclusion.
This is what he looks like.
No,
Yeah.
that's what he looks
This is
like.
what he looks
What
like.
a hottie. Look at him.
hang on. Can you give me full body?
I mean, like I've got this black and white, but I mean,
That's,
Okay,
Oh, dude.
that's a sexy man right there. How
I'm not
in
saying he's
the
ugly,
world?
and I'm not saying he's great looking, but
He's
I will
pretty
say
ugly.
this.
It's definitely
I will say this. I've met, at least in the bar industry, I feel like it's pretty common where you meet a lot of divorcees,
Oh, for sure. Especially where you work.
especially
yeah.
men. Yeah. Yeah,
you can
Especially
always
where you
tell
work, yeah.
who they are too. This is very funny about the bar industry.
But my point being is you'll meet a lot of people like, how did you marry? So you are not that attractive, but they still do it. So like I'm saying like that's understandable.
Dude, there's something about working in a bar, and you can always tell who the motherfuckers with money are. And the motherfuckers who have probably been divorced like 2 or 3 times. And now they're finally over it. And now they just buy escorts. And always the motherfucker who's like 5'10", bald, clean shaven, goatee at most. And he's got he's got this stupid ass button up shirt on and the sleeves are rolled up. Not like cuffed, but just rolled up one time.
Yeah.
To where it's like you just
Where it
have.
just kind of dangles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got room for activities.
And he looks
They don't
like-
give a shit what he looks about.
And he looks like
Yeah.
he looks like the penguin. He looks like Colin Farrell's penguin.
yeah.
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 You're
Like,
totally right.
Yeah. Like it's so fucking crazy. And it's like you see that guy walk in with a woman, you're like, oh no, you're not his lady. You're his lady tonight.
The worst
Yeah,
part
100%.
is when they come into the bar by themselves and they want to buy drinks for other women.
Yes.
So the rule I do now for those men is like, oh, you want to buy her a drink? Okay, but she gets to make the tip.
Oh, that's nice. I
Yeah.
like that. Also, just thinking about this now, and I really hate that I never really instituted it. I was like, you want to buy her a drink? Absolutely. But I'm bringing it to her, and you're staying over there.
That's a good rule.
That's a good rule.
That's
I mean,
a good one.
seriously, because I've seen that happen too many times. A group of pretty women, some creepy fucker comes around and is like, hey, let me buy all y'all drinks. And they say, yeah, free drink? Fuck yeah. And then he stays way too long.
Yeah. But
I
you can
haven't
kinda-
seen that.
usually
You
doesn't
can kind
sit
of cut
down.
out that middle
It
part and be
usually
like,
doesn't
hey,
sit down.
it's from that guy over there. Don't feel like you have to go talk to
Yeah,
him.
please don't go talk to him, actually.
Luckily, I haven't had that happen.
There's a particular kind of person that I wish that I was legally
Allowed to open a can
to
of
kill.
ass on.
Yeah. No, like absolutely fucking just take out to the back and shoot like a dog.
Sure.
And it's those kinds of people, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that fucking want to drug people. Being a bartender in this town, I've seen it more than once, and that's all it takes to really piss me off.
Where I used to work, we were lauded as being very safe.
Right.
You know, and
And
you
it
know,
is
Austin,
for
you
the
worked
most
there for
part.
a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
is
know,
for the most
and
part.
one of my regulars became a good friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and she has experienced some trauma in the past, and so she's a little socially
Is it the same
fearful.
one that I'm thinking of?
probably. And
Skinny girl
yeah,
loves Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's say no more.
Yeah.
I love her dearly. And she ended up getting roofied while I was on shift. And it still bothers me to this day. I think about it at least once a week because I was there and I'm always watching. I'm always
Right.
have my eye out, especially for people that I know and like. And she was sort of a double whammy in the sense of she already has had to deal with that shit
Yeah.
to the point where she usually doesn't come out to a bar alone ever. And she was at a bar alone, and I clocked that in my brain, and I was keeping a pretty close eye. I must have been in the back. I may have been grabbing some more fruit or some shit. I don't know. She immediately was like, I don't feel well. This is not cool. Luckily called a friend. She got out of there, and I clocked out at that point. But apparently there was a guy that was like, hey, where'd that girl go? I wanted to talk to her some more. And it was like,
Dude.
if I figure out who you are, you know what, Austin, you and I will both take that dude out
100%.
into a parking lot and fucking shoot him in the
100%.
head.
Because
Like,
I love that. I love that woman too. She's a sweetheart. She's a great person.
she's awesome. She's awesome. I know. I hate that
I-
shit so much.
I was working one night and this group of ladies comes in.
Mm-hmm.
They're all so fun. They're super sweet, super fun. And she gets drunk with me, whatever. But I see her as she's drunk then, right? And you know, like they all leave, whatever. It's cool. They come in the next day. Again, I saw this woman drunk and she comes in the next day and she is not the same. She is not coherent. She is very slow to speak.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
she's with these two strange guys that apparently they don't know. And one of them is like all over this woman, like rubbing and groping and like kissing her neck, like at the bar. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's gross. And this guy goes to the bathroom. And I was like, I straight up said to the girls and like this other guy that was there, I was like, what the fuck's going on over here? Who is this guy? They don't want to say like anything. They're like, well, you know, he's just this guy. I was like, no, this isn't right. And I go to one of the girls. I was like, you guys need to call an Uber like now.
Leave
And-
these people.
Right. And I will walk you out when the Uber gets here. And so I walk them out. And as I'm outside, this guy comes up. And I'm not kidding you when there are like 2 or 3 like Escalades waiting for this guy. Apparently he's some big wig in Chicago. this guy comes out and he was like, ladies, our rides are over here. And I was like, nope, they're good. They've got a ride on the way. I'm going to make sure they get into their cars. He was like, what are you talking about? They're right there. I'm like, nope, they're going to stay here. And then this guy's trying to start a fight with me. And he's like, go on, fucking swing at me. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to fight you tonight, but I can tell you one thing. These ladies are not going to go home with you. And then luckily that's when people in the bar were like, where the fuck is Austin?
Yeah.
And then it was like all the both bartenders in the bar back came out and the security. And we finally, the guy finally realized that he was like, all right. And he just got the fuck out of there. But dude, the guy probably drugged this woman and was probably trying to take her back and 100%. Do whatever the fuck ever.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off that this man is living a better life than I am financially.
Yeah.
The guy's probably miserable in his own self.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I really.
It would
really
make you
hope.
feel better to think that this guy
At
goes to
one
sleep every
point.
night with constant panic attacks and is just eating away at what a piece of shit he is. But he's
Sure.
probably really happy with himself.
Yeah.
Most of these rich fucks really are.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody at this table is an actual narcissist or a sociopath. So
Borderline.
I feel way too guilty to be a sociopath.
pretty hard to figure that out. I mean, one of my favorite therapists finally broke down and was like, my biggest fear is that I'm a narcissist. And she was like, well, the fact that you said that,
I was going to say.
that's not the case.
Same
Yeah.
thing happened with a therapist of mine.
And I was like, oh, thank God.
Because I
It
grew up.
helps.
I
Yeah.
certainly grew up with one, and definitely a fear I had for a long time to end up like somebody in my family.
Well, on that bright note,
Right.
Yeah.
honestly, it is a bright note. It's a little
Hey,
down for
everybody,
us, yeah.
we're not narcissists.
Yeah. And guess what? You don't have to drug people. You can just leave them alone.
Right.
Don't be a piece of shit, because if you get caught, we will deck you until you cannot walk.
And we will find you. Don't think we
Yeah.
won't. Because
And
it's
also, there's
actually-
lots of us out there. We're
Also,
not just talking
maybe-
about us right now.
Right.
There are lots of people who will wreck your shit for doing that.
Right.
And they're always there.
and
Maybe
if you
just
think that-
try being charming and nice and
Yeah.
respecting the person that you're
You could try
lusting
that.
after.
you think it's hard, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Be honest.
It's not that hard.
Be yourself.
It's not that hard. And if it doesn't work out, then guess what? Move on.
Sometimes things just don't work out.
Sometimes
You're
things
not
don't work
owed
out.
anything.
Right.
There's 8 billion people on this planet.
Right.
Don't drug and fuck them or kill them.
Or kill them. Yeah, probably don't do that either.
Yeah.
You seem oddly thoughtful. This is a
Try-
pretty
I'm-
cut
I'm-
and dry conversation we're having here. bud.
We-
Sorry, I'm thinking of a hot take for this. I haven't put any money in to lower the bar jar, so I want to.
That's true. You're debt free right now.
I was trying to think of the most wholesome thing to say, but
Oh.
yeah, I was like, what's the most wholesome?
And
Like,
you drew a blank.
What's something nice?
got nothing. Getting
Ice cream is good.
You guys tried sorbet before?
It's gelato shit. Makes you smile.
It's okay.
Sorbet is what I call my old lady.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I like
Knock
it.
50 cents off.
No. I'm going to put 50 cents in. That was bad.
It was the thinker.
Look, it's a
It
little
was a-
bar jar, not a bad pun jar. So
Okay. I mean, if you're saying that the bar didn't move, then sure.
I don't think it moved.
All right. If you think it moved up, I'll take 50
to
cents.
be honest with you, I love a bad pun.
I thought it was fun. I was willing to give you
you
50 cents off, but
Yeah.
if you don't feel like you did a good job,
I'll say 50 cents off.
yeah.
But I will. Okay, so,
So
my
you
only
want
Now I'm
thing
at like
is,
9. I was going to say like
1950?
950.
Yeah.
my rule is as long as it's between consenting adults and it hurts no one else outside of that.
Well, duh.
By all means.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Consent
Yeah, but
is-
there's a
yeah.
lot of people who like even then there's like asterisks in there.
Look, it's very, very real and true that you can rape your wife. That's obviously the case. But if that's the kink that you guys have of like locking someone in a closet, tying somebody up, drugging someone.
Well, once again,
By all
consensual,
If
non-consensual.
it's a conversation
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yes, like as long as
Definitely
that's not
have the
happening.
conversation.
You're
Yeah,
not,
please.
Yeah, you really want to work out the finer details of I'm going to do this, and I'm going to enter stage left. Get your stage directions right. You
Right,
know how you're going to do
absolutely.
it. You know,
2 days from now, I will break into our
set
own
your
home.
calendar.
Right.
Yeah,
But if I see anybody trying to fucking
drug a stranger,
Michael Jordan
for sure.
a little pill into a cocktail, I'm going to take that person out back and I'm going to stomp their brains into the fucking
Do you have
pavement.
to say Michael Jordan because I feel like that's
I feel like I was in
I
my
was
head.
gonna
I was like, did
slam
Michael
dunk.
Jordan like do that? Like I was like, is Michael Jordan a
I'm
problematic?
imagining a
Like,
slam
sorry.
dunk like as
Sorry.
soon as she leaves the room.
He's talking
just
about being a good,
yeah!
he's talking about a guy being a good shot.
guy
I
who's
mean,
really
okay,
good at
sorry.
roofing people.
I
Okay,
guess,
that makes
I
more
guess
sense.
Steph Currying.
There you go.
Steph currying drugs into women's drinks. Yeah, you will be taken out back and shot like a lame.
Either way,
horse.
if you're drugging people, women or men, yeah, like
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Just know that there's a special place in hell for you. And if you don't believe that there's hell,
Absolutely.
guess what? There is, and you're going there.
Thanks for tuning into the last few minutes of the moral lesson of Murder Schmurder.
what a great episode.
We'd like to leave you on a little bit of a head scratcher.
Did you like it? This is my first solo
You did a good
edition.
job.
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you.
It was
Yeah,
great.
I worked really hard on this one.
I can tell.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It really was. I loved it. Well,
proud of you.
this is a podcast called Murder
I'm going to blow
Schmurder.
out the mic.
This
I'm
is a
Grant,
podcast
and,
called Murder Schmurder.
Please don't kill prostitutes. Please don't drug random women. Just, I don't know, figure out that aspect of Arthur Shawcross that seemed to be able to pull and then just leave
with
it
that.
at that. Just, that's your game. Somehow, I can talk to women well enough, and then let's leave it there.
Yeah, maybe you're really funny and ugly as shit. That's okay. We have made that work. No, actually, none of us are ugly here. Good job, fellas.
Love it. It's some point soon. We need to figure out a fun sign off because we haven't gotten one yet,
got a
and
good
I would like
sign-off.
one.
We not
I'd
have a
like good
sign-off?
fun sign off. It's usually just us being like, "All right, well, we're done talking because we talked too long," and someone in the room, usually me, is like, "Hey, fucking stop talking," so I can push the stop button, and we usually are just like, "Okay, bye."
So
All
should,
right.
we,
bye.
should we have like catchphrases or like?
I don't know. Let's think about that for later.
All right.
Oh, and
I'm
email
glad we're
us if you
ending
like
an
one.
episode where we don't have
This
a sign
is
off.
the Murder Schmurder podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Okay,
See you
bye.
next Tuesday.
Shapabooey.
Shapabooey.
Is
that it?
Kachuga.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. Episodes are edited by X. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of